Hello, fellow humans. My name is Dorothy Laxton, and this is Fostering Untethered Communication and Knowledge, an adventure in stimulating objective, critical thought, shining the spotlight through individual spectacles, putting it once again on the bigger picture and our parts in it. Searching for life beyond the lifestyles we North American urban dwellers have to choose to chase, encouraging all to participate in positive change. Hello, fellow humans. I'm sitting here once again trying to make sense of our confusion, particularly when it comes to privileges and rights. Anything that is a result of our technology is a privilege. They're not natural rights. They're not inherent rights. Anything that interferes with natural processes interferes with natural rights. It interferes with natural processes. And if an individual doesn't want those natural processes interfered with, they have every right to reject a privilege. Inversely, privileges should not usurp anyone's rights, ever. So, if you're somebody who doesn't want to accept a privilege, it should not be inflicted on you. And the recognition of other human lives has to be taken into account in the imposition of technologies. So, we got this whole compare and contrast going on in our society with an abortion. And you know what? You guys want to kill babies because you don't want to be responsible for the fact that 1 + 1 = 2, right? Everybody should know, and the place we should start with sex education is the fundamental primary purpose of sex. Scientifically, biologically, when you look at us as parts of a creation, an ecosystem, nature, the reality, this is how we propagate. This is how we continue the species. Okay, the primary purpose of that act, the reason why it exists, is to propagate the species. You don't go skydiving without knowing that you might land wrong and maybe break your ankle. And when you break your ankle, you don't cut off your leg, and you don't kill the pilot. You accept the fact that you took a risk, and you appropriately deal with those consequences. Now, abortion is not a right. Okay, abortion is an intervention, and therefore it's a privilege. Talking about, women with coat hangers, that's their folly. That's their folly, sorry. And when you look at statistics on abortion, it's pretty gross, actually. About 5% of induced abortions are second and third trimester. I don't know how anybody can't believe that life begins at conception, but we'll give the first trimester, okay? The first trimester is iffy. It's why people don't generally it's bad luck to tell people you're pregnant before the end of the first trimester, because you never know. And I know a lot of people that it happened to. They told people too early and then they lost the baby. Roughly 24 weeks is a viable life outside the womb. Yes, with interventions. prior to 24, it has been, not necessarily impossible. But past that first trimester, prior to 21 weeks, that life isn't viable outside of the womb. And you can argue your argument of bodily autonomy. But once that body inside the womb is viable outside of the womb, that bodily autonomy applies 100% from a purely intellectual standpoint. I don't like saying that out loud because my soul hurts saying it, to be honest. And fine, you want to be pro-abortion and demand it as a right, fine, but be honest about what you're doing. Look it in the face. Be willing to take a look at images of that child. Be willing to talk about it. Be willing to be honest about it. Don't be a hypocrite. And please, Canadians, stop likening it to Poutine, because that's just vile. It's gross. It makes me honestly want to puke. It makes me sick. Poutine. That's disgusting. It really is just vile. Vile. And the people that I've seen share that, it breaks my heart. That's all I have to say about that. Please, we need to start actually having some appreciation for the fact that we are part of an ecosystem. We are creatures in a naturally occurring world. And all we seem to think is that it's ours to do whatever the frick we want, and we have no responsibility to anything but ourselves. You wonder why we're in the mess we're in, kids. Please just think about it. Thanks for listening.